It is 8 o'clock on the dot. I am first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week. We chat about what's going on in the world of weather. And even though it is April 1st, before we do anything else, let me just promise you, I am not going to give you any false information. This is 100% going to be just as it always is, which is the most credible information I can possibly give you. Just don't have any room for that. So just want to make sure... is this a practical joke? Is this an April Fool's joke? No, not here. Okay. All right. That said, we are waking up to a fairly active morning weather-wise. The top two things we are watching, this shower and thunderstorm pattern that we've entered into. We're also previewing your weekend forecast because there will be some opportunities for some nasty weather in there as well. Deborah, good morning. Nikki, good morning to you. Frankie, good morning to you. Connie, Roland, how are you? How's Southwest Palm Bay looking? Oh my goodness, we will get there just a second. But first, we are taking a live look outside on our Tower Cam network. This, I feel like I should drop my voice just a little bit. Let's do that. Hold on. Sipping coffee. Hold on. Okay. It's raining. It's pouring. In Cocoa, it's pouring. Yeah, that's a look from our Cocoa Tower Cam. Usually from this shot, you can see the port. Usually from this shot, you can see the vehicle assembly building. But none of those are the case. So let's come right over to our first warning live Doppler radar. Happy to say there's nothing severe out there, but there are some stronger storms. So let's bring you right over to it. And it is basically Brevard and Osceola counties. So let's zoom in here and just see what's doing. First and foremost, heavy downpour activity from about Port St. John up through the Kennedy Space Center, down through Cape Canaveral. That Tower Cam, if you're familiar, that Tower Cam is located right where my hand is there, right off of Tropical Trail there, looking over the 528, kind of over toward the port. Very heavy rainfall through here, Rockledge, Merritt Island. It is pouring. Cocoa Beach, South Cocoa Beach, it is pouring. And further to the south, as the live radar sweep comes through, it's just starting to rain in Melbourne. But all of this nasty weather out from about the Turnpike through 192, that is going to be heading your direction. Let me just lapse that, and you can kind of see all of that rain working in your direction. So yeah, it's going to be a stormy morning. And it's not just even the morning either. If we take a wider perspective and see what's doing, this is all from a cold front. The problem is this cold front is not really moving much. It's just kind of hanging out. Why is that important? Because it's just kind of hanging out. Because it's not going to be moving. So through the day today, there is going to be the chance to see showers and thunder showers basically morning, noon, and even into the afternoon. Though later in the afternoon, we're still going to be able to clear this out. And that's the good news. But you can see the impact icon there because obviously, weather is going to be impacting you today. Paula, good morning to you from Benella. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Mirza, good morning to you. Nancy, how are you? Tiffany's asking, is it past us in Lake Mary? So this little round is yes, but there is going to be more later. So again, let's just take a look. If you live in the metro area, let me just zoom in. You can very clearly see we're actually doing okay. The live radar is sweeping through. We are fine up through Volusia County. We are fine. It's all for now going to be hanging out down here in Brevard County. And that is a problem. I was just speaking to a friend who's very dependent on this launch. I say very dependent on the weather. There is a launch scheduled today in the 12 o'clock hour. I will be doing West 2 News at noon. I will be streaming any launch coverage there is, but I got to be honest with you. I am not all too optimistic about this launch going up. It's the Transporter 4 mission. Not really expecting this to do much. All right. I mean, that's just being honest with you. Through the day today, here's a look at where we're at. Okay. Strong to severe risk is a level 1 across Central Florida. Our southern areas from about Orlando off to the south. Basically, if you're getting storms now, okay? And when we talk about that, the biggest concern overwhelmingly is going to be heavy rainfall. But aside from that, there is the chance of seeing some strong gusty winds in some of these more intense pockets of rain, all right? So that's kind of where we're at. But that's just for today. If we look ahead, I do want to point out that for tomorrow, we're actually under a level 2 risk for strong to severe storms in Central Florida. From about Bushnell, Sanford, and New Smyrna Beach south, we're under a level 2 risk, meaning scattered strong to severe storms. And it's because of that we've had to declare tomorrow a first warning weather day, because the threat of strong to severe storms, once you go from isolated to scattered, that's a pretty big gap there. And so once you make that jump, that certainly is something that we have to really elevate. So tomorrow you're going to hear us talking about it. If we look at your weekend forecast, tomorrow is a first warning weather day. 80% coverage of showers and thunder showers. It is not going to be a pretty day. I apologize for you. But tomorrow is going to be a day where we have to not only watch the threat for strong to severe storms, but probably just take care of indoor activities, because it's not looking that great. Chris is trying a Coffee Talk on his new 2-in-1 computer. Hopefully the stunning high-definition broadcast looks good on your screen. Kevin Johnson, Breakfast with Eric. It's a great way to start a Friday. Good morning to you, my friend. Thank you for joining. Bob Johnson, good morning to you, sir. Hope you're enjoying that coffee this morning. All right, so we know today's stormy. We know tomorrow actually has a higher severe risk. But how does this all time out, right? That's where Futurecast comes in, all right? So let's just start Futurecast right now. I think it's doing a fantastic job of zeroing in on the storms in our eastern and southern spots. Watch through time, okay? Let's just take this through time. 9, 10, let's just stop at lunchtime. And the first thing I want you to notice is that we are still tracking storms in Brevard County. So that rocket launch forecast, my gut says no. And tomorrow's weather, by the way, in the event that there's a scrub today for that launch, tomorrow would be the backup. I don't think tomorrow looks any better. My gut says that's not going to happen either. Then we look at Sunday. Sunday is SLS wet rehearsal, which has taken precedence. So that would then push the Transporter 4 rocket launch to Monday, I think, which would then mean much better weather, okay? All right, so there's lunchtime today. Not looking good. David says, happy April Fool's Day. Indeed, you as well, which, as I said off the top, you're not going to get any fake information from me, but it is a good reminder that today's April Fool's Day. So I hate this day. I think it's just so unnecessary. But read everything twice. Think about everything twice, because today is going to be a day where there's going to be a lot of garbage on the social medias. I can assure you that that is not going to happen here on Coffee Talk. I can assure you that's not going to happen on Wesh 2 News. But just be careful, okay? Just be careful with any information. Patty, we got 8.29 inches of rain in my yard in Palm Coast. Are you serious? We got at my house, I believe, 2 inches. Let me look. And while we're talking about rainfall, let's just, and I'll come back to Futurecast, but let's look at some other areas. So we got 2.12 inches of rain at my house. Castleberry, 3.6. Look at Maitland, 5 inches. So the idea of getting 8, I guess, isn't crazy, but that's a lot of rain, no matter how you slice it. That's a lot of rainfall. Yeah. Mark says 2.8 inches in Apopka. Indeed. Barbara says my pool filled up in Daytona Beach. Yeah, my pool definitely filled up as well. West Coast beaches tomorrow. I mean, guys, Florida's going to be crummy tomorrow. I love you. I love you all. But insert random city name. It's going to be crummy tomorrow. Let's take you through time. So we went through lunchtime. Here's 3, 4 o'clock. You notice later in the day, the rain coverage comes down, but it's still around, okay? And then by 6, 7 o'clock, most of us will be looking a little bit better, all right? That's looking better. And you can kind of see overnight tonight, maybe a couple of showers, okay? Let's continue it through. Tomorrow morning, a few showers, but by about lunchtime, we're starting to see that rain coverage pick up. And then afterward, that's the window, okay? So let's just rewind this a little bit. 7 a.m. Saturday, we're looking okay. A few spotty showers. When I see you on Wesh 2 News Sunrise, I'll be tracking those few spotty showers. 9 a.m., spotty showers. Still by 10. But by about noon, we're starting to pick up rain. Kimberly, do you think it will be bad in Satellite Beach tomorrow around lunch? I mean, for now, it looks like all the rains will be inland at that point. You should be okay. But look what happens just after lunchtime. We start to see a lot of vibrant colors, showers, thunder showers, and frankly, we're getting into the stronger storm variety at that point. So 3 p.m., showers and thunder showers. That's going to be a deal. All right? We're heading to SeaWorld at 10 a.m., Becca says, and heading home around 1 or 2. If that's tomorrow, I would say that by 1 or 2, yeah, you're going to be wanting to. For me, because the threat of severe weather is not going to be there in the morning, I think I'll still be able to do some things with the family in the morning. But then again, into the afternoon, that's when it's going to... Okay, Sunday morning is going to be looking wet. We'll look at that here on Futurecast. But you can see there's wide scattered showers and thunder showers through tomorrow afternoon. Let's continue this through 5 p.m. on Saturday. That's a lot of red. That's a lot of purple. We're even getting into the whites. Remember when I said that tomorrow has a higher threat for strong to severe storms? This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly why we're talking about that. So just keep that in mind, my friends. And by the way, while we're sitting here chatting, the Orlando International Airport is starting to back up a little bit. So let's just take a look at that. Yeah, so departure delays are now running 15 to 30 minutes. No surprise here. If we look at the big board over at Orlando International Airport, wow, 40 flights are canceled. Okay. So it's looking rougher and rougher. Risa, I see your name showing up. You just stunned me with it. That's wonderful. Good morning, my dear. Hi, Eric. Garage sale is going to be a bust tomorrow in Wekiva. I would say if you're doing a garage sale, I would get it done early. It's so nice to see your name. I would say if you're doing a garage sale tomorrow, obviously nobody's going to shop here at 6 a.m., so you're fine there. 9 a.m., there will be a few showers, but I don't think that it's going to be like a bust yet. I would say, though, once you get into the afternoon, like 12, 1, 2 o'clock, that's when it's pack it up and be inside. So if you're doing outdoor activities, it's so nice to see your name. If you're doing outdoor activities, no matter where or, no matter where you are in Central Florida, if you're doing outdoor activities, tomorrow morning is it. That's it. Okay? Because into the afternoon, it gets rather stormy, my friends. Kids' soccer games should be okay tomorrow. They're done by 11:30. But again, Jenny, the further west you live, the stormier that's going to be. So just keep that in mind, okay? All right, does anybody have any questions about that? Does anybody have any questions? Hopefully we'll be good. But again, when we talk about the threat for strong to severe storms, tomorrow we're under a level 2 threat. And it's a big deal to go from level 1 to level 2, just so that you know. Each one of these, don't take this as just a minor thing. When you start showing that level 2 out of 5 threat instead of a level 1 out of 5 threat, that's why on our 7-day forecast, and I'll just show this to you, that's why on our 7-day, like today, for example, we're under a level 1 threat. Okay, so that's where we've got this little yellow icon. But that level 2 threat elevates it to red. That's why the day is highlighted in red, because it's a pretty significant jump in terms of threats. Isolated, 1 or 2. Scattered, meaning several. Okay, so that's why we just need to pay attention. That's all. I'm not trying. If you know me a long time, I'm not the kind of guy that wants to scare anybody. I'm the kind of guy that's just going to give it to you straight. It's April Fool's. I'm not fooling you, right? And no, I don't go... I'm pulling off these stickers accidentally. I don't get ratings for Coffee Talk. We don't make money on Coffee Talk. So when I'm here talking to you, it's not like I'm trying to up the salary of the station. Just keep that in mind. We're here to do a public service. What? You mean you actually want to help your community? Yeah, that's kind of what this is, right? All right, so that's tomorrow. Let's just take a look at the kind of individual threat breakdown for tomorrow. Here's the threat one by one, just to give you kind of an idea of what we're looking at. For tornadoes, we're under a relatively low isolated risk, but it's still there. I think that for tomorrow, the bigger threats are going to be the potential of hail and the potential of damaging winds, especially in our southern areas where the instability is higher. But, we all have to watch this. Michelle says, hubby is repiping our house here in Cocoa. Looks like he won't have an excuse to escape it with outdoor projects. It's true. Sounds like a day to go to Disney tomorrow. Less crowds. I would say, the morning is certainly not looking bad. But through the day, it's going to get worse. So there's that front, kind of gets stalled out over top of us. Then watch, that's tonight, watch the Gulf of Mexico, because the November 27th part of the cycling weather pattern is about to come through. Ready? Kablowie, just out of the blue, just fires up and marches our area. But the good news is Sunday looks better and better and better as time goes on, okay? So at least there's that. It's not like I would say it's a great day outdoors, but it definitely trends much, much, much better. Tomorrow is going to be, especially in the afternoon and evening, tomorrow is going to be less than desirable. Deborah, leaving for a cruise tomorrow from Fort Lauderdale for 10 days. Hope the weather holds up. I mean, it's going to be a little crummy for now, but, for 10 days, you're going to encounter just about every kind of weather. You know what I mean? It's okay. You rate 5 stars. Debbie, thank you. Karina, grad bash tonight. How's the rain going to be? Later tonight, it gets better and it gets better. Here's a look at the Futurecast model. Not knowing about specifics, like there's 7:30, a couple of showers around, but it won't be too bad. All right. Is this all day? When should we expect it? Well, Mandy, I don't know where you are, my dear. But on again and off again, especially in our southern areas today, there's going to be showers. Patty, Eric, I'm hoping you see that rainfall is for the month of March. Huh? You want to see where we are for the rain? One thing that's interesting, let's just look for the year even. When we look now, this is not going to take into account today's rains, but you can see we're actually doing pretty okay. For the year, the only area that's really behind is Daytona Beach, about an inch. And if we look at rainfall for today, one moment, I got to find this graphic. Too many graphics, Manolfi. I mean, yeah, there you go. Daytona Beach out of the, with this kind of a rain event, we're all out of the deficit. We're looking good. This is a really good thing, my friends. Here's a look at Futurecast through the day ahead. How much more rain falls? Let's just look through this afternoon. Most of the rains, according to Future, this is a great graphic. I'll have to really focus this through this afternoon. If you live further to the north, obviously rain's not going to be a huge deal. The further south you live, the more rain we can see, and you can kind of see. Through the metro, the lightest green, so that's a half inch of rain or less. Pockets, especially South Brevard County, you're talking about 1 to 2 inches of rain possible. But if we extend this through Saturday, okay, now that's through 8 p.m. Saturday, now you're talking about Futurecast painting in those yellows. So there's going to be many areas that get an additional 2 to 3 inches of rain. Now, this is not the global models. This is our Futurecast. Oh, Patty says the 8.29 inches I told you about was for March, not just yesterday. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, frankly, areas have seen 5 inches of rain since yesterday. So it's not the craziest thing. But look at our Futurecast model. Through tomorrow night, there's some areas it's highlighting in orange. That's 3 to 5 inches of rain with isolated pockets and kind of that burnt orange, which is more than 5 inches. So there is the potential to see some flooding rains here over the next couple of days. David says, good morning. I volunteered at the Disney 5K last night, and thankfully we got in our cars when the storms hit. Yeah. Were they able to run the race? I had a few friends asking, and then I fell asleep. My weather station says we've had 1.42 inches so far. What did we have at my house? Let me look. 2.12 inches. 2.12 inches. And we actually lost power at my house as well. I woke up to a notification. Yeah, I woke up to a notification. Powerwall is 96% charged and providing power to your home. That's nice. David says they ran a shortened race to get everyone off the course in time. It was around 2.5 miles. Yeah, safety first. Safety first. Speaking of Run Disney, so today's Friday. There is no Run Disney race today, but we've got another one. We've got the 10K. That is tomorrow morning. And clouds around. It's going to be muggy. It's going to be humid. But I don't think it's going to be too bad. This one runs through Epcot and the Boardwalk. And then, my friends, doing the Tower of Terror 10-miler. I'm sorry. This one doesn't look great. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, I was prepared to run my last half marathon in soaking rains. They ended up canceling that. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. If there's enough thunder and lightning, I'm sure that they'll cancel it or run a shortened race or something to that effect. But yeah, for the Sunday morning, the 10-miler, we are looking. Why don't they call it if it's the Tower of Terror? Why isn't it the 13-miler? And just stop short of a half. Just call it a 13-miler. Come on, Disney. 13, because, you know. Got the RV in the driveway, so if I lose power, it has its own. Ryan, nothing wrong with that. Better than 90 degrees in January for the full. That's true. That's true. Denise says, I appreciate your talks and the weather app. Thank you. I've used it all over the U.S. for forecasts and even radar. Base is here, but we travel the country in our RV. Love it. So one reminder, speaking of the app, and I know it's a shameless plug, but just the bosses don't tell me to do this. I do this because I truly believe in what it is. But if you've got the Wesh 2 app, let me open it up, okay? Pro tip, okay? Here's the Wesh 2 app, okay? Click on the little hamburger thing or whatever you've got, okay? Brings up all of the layers. If you click the plus on the weather, you click on the radar. The radar's great, right? But that's actually a national composite, okay? You see, that's a national composite. If you click in the bottom corner right there, that the little sandwich, the stacked layers, look at the options here. Okay, the radar is actually the second option. The first option is first warning live radar. I know it's blurry, but if you click that, that actually if you click first warning live radar, that actually brings up our live radar. Oh, it's got wind speed. No, I don't want wind speed. Yeah. So it's got our live radar. Now, why am I telling you to use our live radar? Well, for one thing, it gives you a much higher resolution look. And another thing, it's updated every 60 seconds. The composite, I believe, is every 3 to 5 minutes. So you're not going to get that with, I believe our radar is the only radar that is live, goes into an app, I believe. All right, so it's the Wesh 2 app. Download it. You can get severe weather alerts and all that fun stuff at the palm of your hands. What I think is so neat is the fact that it lets you know when storms are approaching. It lets you know when rain is approaching. I don't know. Those little push alerts plus the live radar, I could tell you, I was emailing back and forth with our radar vendor all night and all morning. We don't just have a live radar. It needs constant tweaking. And we are constantly working with our vendor to make the software better. We are the only ones in the market that have this kind of radar. Everybody says that, I know. But seriously, there's two kinds of radars out there for TV. Really, the big guys. Barron, we use their software because their software is good. But when it comes to radar, can I tell you something? We use the EEC radar because it's better. Whoops. Did I say that out loud? Also, I don't care how good or bad your radar is. If you don't know how to use it, and using it is not just zooming in. You know what using it is? I'll show you. This is, by the way, that's the Barron software. That's the LRC. Can I minimize everything? Minimize everything. Do you know what using the radar is? It's coming in here. And it's tweaking everything. It's tweaking everything. All of the settings here. All of these settings that you see, all of them. It's tweaking all those settings. This is the raw look at our radar, my friends. We are constantly in there tweaking it, tweaking it, tweaking it. It doesn't matter if you have your own live radar if you don't know what you're doing. Just saying, my friends. All right? All right, let's zoom back in here and just get an update. It is storming, storming, storming from Cocoa Beach down through Satellite Beach. If you live in Melbourne, my friends, it will be moving in. The good news is we're not talking about anything, rotating. There is a pretty good little punch of wind, though, in there. Let's look at that. This is our live radar, by the way. Yeah, 25, 30 miles an hour. It's sub-severe. But as this storm moves into downtown Melbourne here, it's crossing Lake Washington shortly. As that marches in, it's going to be one that'll wake you up. It is. Yeah, that's why I always say you can use our app and you can get our live radar, which is super cool. Time to pack the RV. Ryan, be good. Have a good one. Is there any flood watches out for Brevard? I don't believe so. Let me just double check to see that there hasn't been anything issued recently. I don't see it. All right. Let's see here. Eric, how much weight have you lost? I'm trying to get bariatric surgery, jump through all the hoops, and now they tell me I have to lose 50 pounds. I've lost 10. What's your best advice? My main plan is cutting out breads, carbs, sodas, and sweets. Well, Jeffrey, first off, you have to lose 50 pounds? If you could lose 50 pounds, would you be going down that avenue of bariatric surgery? Sometimes I hear these requirements, and I just don't know, man. That said, I had a 6-month program where I had to consistently lose. I'm down, let's see, 130 pounds? Something to that effect. 130, like 132, 133 pounds. Does it shrink to show the Gulf Coast what? Our app? Our app will do everything. But you may, if you're out of our radar's range, you may have to switch to the National Composite, which is fine. But if you live in Central Florida, use our radar. Becky. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you, my love. Appreciate it. It's definitely right in Melbourne. Yeah, there you go, Christine, right? Yeah. I see... Sandy, Eric, I see you have gained a little. You've gained back a little weight in your face. You look great. I haven't gained any weight. Number one. Number two, is that. Do we need to talk about gaining weight? But I haven't gained anything. But okay. Maybe my face is growing into itself. I love the Wesh 2 weather app. Work outdoors at one of the theme parks and helps to know when the rains are going to be here. I find it hilarious when some of my coworkers say there's going to be no rain and the Wesh app tells me. Yeah, it's not that Mother Nature listens to Wesh. It's just that Wesh monitors it. I wish you could see future on your radar. You can, I believe. Yeah, if you hit the button... If you hit the button where... Yeah. That's the okay, so let me just show you the difference real fast. Okay, nerd moment. I don't care though, okay? So here's our live radar. You see the definition on the live radar there? Let's switch the layer and go from the live radar over to the composite radar. And you can see it looks almost the same. It's just a little smoothened because it's a composite. But bottom corner, you see where it says past? If you click that and go to future, it gives you a model. So yeah, you can look at future radar on there. Yeah. You can. It's right there. It's all right there. Chris says, I think her point was that you look great. Well, thank you. No, I appreciate that. Okay. Tornado warning just issued for Brevard County. So we're going to be modifying this just a little bit, my friends. We're going to pop over here. Interesting. Tiny little tornado warning in effect for Brevard County. Let's just get the stats on this. Zooming in here, Cocoa Beach, tornado warning in effect until 8:45, right at Cocoa Beach. Let's switch over. Oh, look at that. This is our live radar, okay, my friends? And you can very clearly see on our radar, give me a few seconds, right over A1A, just south of the 520 near the Minuteman Causeway here. Take your tornado precautions. Let's switch over to the Melbourne radar. Yeah, look at that. You can very clearly see rotation here, right around the Minuteman Causeway, Bougainvillea Drive, back over to South Brevard Avenue. Red next to green, my friends. Red next to green, okay? That lets you know that there is a rotating area in place, okay? So just a heads up, my friends, there is a tornado warning in effect for Brevard County for the next 15 minutes. It is this cell right in here. If you live in Cocoa Beach, I need you to take your tornado precautions. What streets? If you live near Crystal River Drive, Minuteman Causeway, Brevard Avenue, up near Capri Road, take your tornado precautions. Let's switch over here and look at the correlation coefficient. This is our debris tracker. And for right now, the debris tracker not showing anything whatsoever, but as this very heavy cell is sitting right over top of you, this is a look at it on our Doppler radar, and you can see red and green close together. We try to get in even closer using the National Weather Service Doppler radar, and you can very clearly see. If there was a tornado, it would be literally right over Cedar Avenue, Capri Road, Cocoa Isles Boulevard. Be very, very cautious. If you live in this area, I want you inside as far as you can, away from doors, away from windows. Yeah, this popped up right out of nowhere. And doesn't that just go to show you the way that Central Florida weather can be, okay? So tornado warning in effect. What does that mean? That means that Doppler radar has indicated something that gives us the idea, something that tells us there's rotation. When we use Doppler radar, and I'm just talking to you on camera because I want to switch Doppler radar sources. Give me a few seconds. I'm going to have to kind of get this turned around. But the essential idea here is that Doppler radar indicated rotation, okay? And on that rotation, give me 1 second. This is going to go black for a second. Okay, there we go. All right, so Doppler radar indicated rotation in this vicinity here. And of course, now we're just kind of tracking it. It's right over Cocoa Beach. You can very clearly see the box. That's the tornado warning area. That's in effect until 8:45. So let's zoom it in. We're going to switch radar sources here. This is our radar, and it's on the northern side here. It's up in this area. Let's zoom in here. I want to just get as many streets as we possibly can. Our Doppler radar is scanning this at 4,000 feet. Let's switch over to, this is a look. That's at 2,000 feet. This is a look at the radar source from Orlando International, National Weather Service. Yeah, let's zoom down here. Okay, so right over Cocoa Beach. If it was something, it would be right over Atlantic Avenue, kind of moving its way off the shoreline right now, okay? We've not gotten any indication of this actually having been on the ground, but I do want to make sure that everybody knows about it, okay? Again, tornado warning in effect for the next few minutes' time. For the next 10 minutes, more than likely this will be allowed to expire. Let's take a look here and see what's doing on our debris tracker, because that's a tool that we can use to see if there was anything lifted up. And this is interesting. This could be a hail signature, this yellow here, or it could be that there was an actual touchdown right around Orlando Avenue, Cedar Avenue, Catalina Road. For right now, thankful to see that it's moving off the shoreline. So if there was something, thankful that it's kind of moving its way off the shoreline. I'm just kind of switching around radar sources. Bear with me here. Yeah, it looks like it's moving its way off the shoreline. But doesn't that just kind of explain to you that anytime you've got a situation like this, you've got the opportunity to see something, obviously something a little stronger, right? And that's just kind of the way that it is on days like this. So that's why we're watching things very, very carefully. We want to make sure that there's an update to the live radar, and it looks like it is off the shoreline. The overall cell, let's look at it on our rotation tracker. The overall cell had significant rotation in there. When you start to get into those red shades, there's significant rotation. Let's go back and look at the swath and see very clearly it had some good rotation right as it was getting over toward Cocoa Beach. So I would be curious to see if this ends up having been a tornado or not. Okay, let's switch back over to our WESH radar, and the rotation has moved off the shoreline. Closer radar source, that's the National Weather Service, and you can kind of see that rotation is off the shoreline as well. But, these kinds of storms have the opportunity to certainly put down rotating storms, okay? Tornadoes, water spouts, things of that nature. These are definitely things that we have to watch closely. Bruce says, red on green sounds like the rhyme about coral snakes. Indeed, it does. But thankfully, this is moving off the shoreline. The problem is that if there was a tornado embedded in there, it would have been a rain-wrapped tornado. I would expect that the National Weather Service will cancel that tornado warning in the next few moments' time as this cell is moving off the shoreline. I want to get logged into the National Weather Service chat. But again, let's take a wider perspective here in Brevard County. Let's do that. Give me just a few seconds here and see further to the south. I just want to look down here and see if there's anything else. So for now, it looks like, thankfully, if there was anything else, it wouldn't be tornadic at the moment. But it doesn't take much. It just doesn't take much for this to kind of get spun up a little bit, okay? Robert from the National Weather Service a few minutes ago says, short tornado warning coming up for Cocoa Beach, tightening rotation that will push offshore quickly. And that's exactly what has happened. But again, back over to the radar velocity channel, and you can see very clearly that the heaviest activity on this storm has moved off the shoreline. I would expect that the National Weather Service cancels this warning in the next few moments' time because it is continuing to move out and off the shoreline. I would expect, and I'm curious, I would expect that this is a decent water spout at the very least. Well, then watch you and end up with a warning via phone. Glad I was watching you when this happened. I was able to see right in the center. Well, and I'm grateful for the way the technology is because you're able to know as it's happening, right? We were able to just kind of turn Coffee Talk into this tornado warning coverage. But at this time, whether or not the National Weather Service has canceled it, I could tell you the tornado warning shouldn't be in existence at this point. It's off the shoreline. The cell that prompted the tornado has moved off the shoreline. Obviously, you can see that's our radar. We're fine. Yeah, we're fine there as well. Yeah, so the cell is off the shoreline, okay? But let's just widen this perspective out just a little bit. Let's switch back over to our conventional radar, and let's just watch here over the last few minutes. And you can see the metro's quiet. You can see we are fine back over here toward much of the coastline, but it is our friends here in Brevard County that we are watching these showers and these thunder showers around, okay? Plenty of lightning. We're going to be watching as each one of these little areas, if you will, kind of gets fired up. So we're going to be watching this. I have a feeling I'm going to be heading into the office early today to track these storms just to be on the safe side, okay? All right. Does anyone have questions, comments, concerns? This tornado warning, while it's still technically in effect, the cell has moved off the shoreline. Carolyn, shouldn't it remain for any crazy boaters out there? I mean, those are special marine warnings. Tornado warnings are for land. Yeah, so that would be a special marine warning. Right? Kimberly says it's a frog strangler for sure. It is. It is. And these are the cells. Let's just come down and let's do a little analysis of the rest of these cells as they're kind of working over towards Satellite Beach, Melbourne, Indian Harbor Beach. Let me put this on the latest view of the radar and let's just kind of take a look. I'm not seeing anything rotating. What I am seeing is pockets of very heavy winds here along 192 that are going to be working over. This is using the Melbourne radar, okay? So, yeah, it's going to be raining on and off again through today. All right. Give me a second to turn this back over to the other system. Do that. Stand by. When I switch weather computers, sometimes you're going to see it look a little goofy. Just bear with me. All right. So 7-day forecast, my friends. Today, 70% coverage of showers and thunder showers, okay? That's going to gradually be able to kind of get back to normal, okay? We're going to be looking at just normal showers and storms once we get you to about Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, okay? Other than the WESH 2 app, what's your favorite mobile radar source to use? I would say that we would use the Radar Omega app is a pretty good one, all right? Today, Impact Weather Day, 70% coverage of storms, especially south of town. Tomorrow, it is a first warning weather day, meaning that showers and thunder showers could get strong, especially not really in the morning, but into the afternoon. That's where we're looking at the level 2 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms, okay? But don't worry, we'll be watching it for you on Facebook and on Twitter. The rocket launch is still scheduled for today, but I just don't know that that's going to happen, all right? All right, I'm going to go head into the office, I suppose. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I will see you guys and gals for WESH 2 News at noon today. And then, of course, 3:30 for the afternoon coffee talk. Be good, guys. Bye-bye.